Oh, you know what Hey, gang, welcome everybody. My name is Bill Harvey and we are talking about this week. And I just realized my background, you can't see my whiteboard because this is our green screen. Okay, well, that's perfectly fine. It will be recorded on the Facebook group, the private members Facebook group of the Auto Sales Academy. You can obviously see the whiteboard, and everyone at the Auto Dealership Academy. Stay with me here. I just need to grab my white marker board. Just realized when I walked into the set, I didn't have those markers. Sorry, really unplanned. 3 days on stage in Toronto, so just had to get through that. And just got back late last night and preparing for the class that happened earlier this morning with the Auto Dealership Academy gang. So today what we're talking about is negotiating a close first visit, and I've got a worksheet that I want to share with you because I think it's really appropriate this time of the year and at this point in the seasons of the cycle. In the second quarter of the year, this is our time to make hay while the sun is shining. Not sure. I want to sneeze and I can't. My apologies. So what happens this time of the year is a lot of shoppers come out of the woodwork and they come in to purchase an automobile, and we're right there to help them out and make their experience as positive as it could possibly be. But then they pop this on us. I want to think about it. I had no intention of buying today. I want to talk to my dad, my spouse, my uncle, my aunt, my grandfather, my coworker, my neighbor before I make any decisions. I'm just shopping right now. My lease is due in 8 months, and I thought I'd come in and have a look and see what everybody's got. And maybe they're even that individual who did not purchase a vehicle in the past 5, 6, 7 years, going through the inventory shortage and the pandemic and all the craziness that happened at that point in time. Let's assume that they purchased an automobile way back in 2018 or 2017. And the bottom line is they're coming into the dealership with payments that are double. They're coming into C payments that are double, triple, and quadruple what they were typically accustomed to before. And this is frustrating. It's annoying to them because they don't know why vehicle price has gone up so substantially. Their point and their interest in an automobile is to go from A to B, and they don't understand why a pickup truck has gone from $60,000 to 90 and well into six figures. And the challenge for all of us is how we make those payments, those biweekly payments, those lease payments appear affordable so that they will purchase the automobile. Because what we're trying to do in sales all the time is present an irresistible offer. This is what Average Ordinary Automobile Sales Training does not talk about anywhere at all. Cardone, Verde, Marino, any one of the sales training systems or individuals or companies that you subscribe to, they don't talk about the fundamentals of selling. The manufacturer does a terrific job of telling us all about the features and benefits and why we need to talk features and benefits and do walk around presentations, demonstration drives. I've heard that General Motors is doing a better job of talking to you and I as salespeople in the audience about how to sell it as opposed to the data dump. That's wrong. Manufacturers should continue to just deliver the data dump. That's their job. The new automobile comes along and they say, these are all the great, amazing, wonderful features that it has. This is how we engineered it. This is the avatar that we're thinking of. That's all that's your expectation of the manufacturer when you go to their training. Should simply be, tell me everything you possibly can tell me about it. When you go to competitive product training, that's a little bit better, but that's for the purpose of proving to you that your product still has a competitive advantage in the marketplace. That's not what we're talking about today here at Negotiation. What we're talking about is having gone through the activities that lead to the sale. So I need to make the gross assumption that you have done a dynamite walk-around presentation. You have done an excellent vehicle selection process. And I said walk around, I got ahead of myself there. Like that's activity number 3. Going all the way back to the very beginning, I've got to make the assumption through activities that lead to the sale. This is your sales funnel. You did a greeting that was so different than everything else in the marketplace that the customer just knows you're here to do business. The best salespeople I have ever met, and for that matter, the best salespeople I've ever purchased something from, and all the way from my $2,000 iPhone Max, iPhone Pro Max, Apple 17 phone, all the way through to my water ski boat down at the lake in the boathouse, or my Denali GMC turbo diesel truck that tows my toy hauler so the kids and I can go off-road motorcycle racing. Every single one of those salespeople have always greeted me with the most professional, get down to business greeting that we could ever dream of. With the water ski boat, I pulled into the water ski dealership that was selling the brand that I wanted to go to. I was coming out of a ski nautique, going to a Mastercraft, and the salesperson knew me very, very well. He was a colleague from the car business and now selling boats. And he walks out. He didn't say hi. He didn't say, how's it going? He didn't greet my spouse and give her a big hug because he knew her too. He saw the truck and the trailer with the boat on, and he goes, oh, so it looks like we're doing business today. And he was right. I came prepared. I dolled it up. I staged it, the whole works. And you know what that's like when you get that unannounced customer coming in and they're really ready to do business. You've got to pick yourself up and get into that business mode as well. Well, be in that business mode all the time. It makes life so much easier. Now, when it comes to negotiate to close first visit, that's the first step. We talked about the micro commitments last week, and that starts at the welcome through the vehicle selection process. You got to get on the right vehicle right out of the gate. The micro commitment would be finding out this is the vehicle that they want, and the very fact that the advertisement reads bi-weekly, monthly payment, and you've got to get commitment that it's affordable. If you don't, then get onto a vehicle that's affordable. 3 hours showing them and driving them in another automobile and trying to work the deal at the desk is just going to wind up with a no gross, low gross deal of crappy customer satisfaction. And that's not how you get to 10, 20, 30 vehicles per month with predictable consistency. You've got to have those repeats and referrals. You only do that with outstanding customer experience, because this is the customer focused approach. This isn't the dealer centric approach. This isn't salesperson focus. These are the tactics you need to be able to sell. What I'm talking about, I'm making that gross assumption. You've done a dynamite welcome, vehicle selection. You've got confirmation it's affordable. You did the product presentation to create the excitement based on the things that they want. And if none of this makes any sense, or if you're saying to yourself, wow, is this ever feature packed? I've never seen this before. You're right. I need to be doing it. If you were a high achiever and you are now a struggler and you're struggling to hit double digits every single month, it's likely because you're not doing these activities that are in your funnel. So reach out to me. Happy to talk to you about it. The other part of the equation is you need to make sure these activities are done in order for you to be able to close efficiently and easily, negotiating every deal on your terms every time, because you've got so much commitment, excitement, emotional attachment, call it whatever you want. If you don't get that, you don't have an irresistible offer. Customer will take your best price, go down the street, driving the car that they're currently driving, and just say to themselves, what's wrong with my automobile? Why would I not keep this? This thing is perfectly fine. When they're faced with no payments on that used vehicle and $1,000 a month payment on the new replacement. Pretty easy for them to talk themselves into the fact that their vehicle, 12 years old with 250,000 kilometers on it, is still running and driving okay. They can probably afford to do the maintenance that is required on it. Obviously, if something catastrophic happened and it was a big bill, they've got to cross that bridge when they get to it. Let's help them not have to make that decision by sharing with them right now, because they thought about it, talked about it, researched the marketplace. They know how much the vehicle costs. You told them and got confirmation at step number 2. Now they're here to buy, and they're saying what? It's too much. Okay. And I get it. Even the most perfect customer, perfect acting customer, maybe it's a family member does that to you. So what happens in this particular case is we leverage what I like to call the Dutch auction. Now, the Dutch auction is really quite simple. And maybe you've seen this before. Maybe it's a tactic that you've known about before and you've forgotten about it. I use it at my dealership on a routine basis. And as you well know, I'm still a dealer principal to this day. It's an independent dealer. I still have a team of guys selling automobiles. We're loading the lot right now with as many vehicles that we can buy because it's the time to sell while the sun is shining. The Dutch auction does this. It's really quite neat. And here's the mistake that I see average ordinary salespeople make all the time. This is the reason why you can't close first visit. You have a vehicle that sells for $57,997. And on that vehicle sells for $57,997, there is a manufacturer's discount of $1,297. That puts the new selling price at $56,700. Now, that's not the mistake that average ordinary automobile salespeople make. The mistake that average ordinary automobile salespeople make is that they don't mention the MSRP of $57,997, and they just assume that the new price is $56,700 after the fact that the manufacturer or dealer or combined version of two have already discounted the vehicle by $1,297. Now, if this happens on the used car line, you sell pre-owned, don't let yourself do this again. If the original selling advertised price was $57,997, and because that vehicle is aging and there hasn't been a lot of activity on it, the manager has decided to drop the price by $1,297. And now the new selling price is $56,700. Make sure you do this. You can call this MSRP, and you can also on the pre-owned call this the old price. Here's the discount. And it's the same for everybody. There's the discount. And that's what you get off the vehicle, and that's what you can have it for right now. There are two mistakes being made right here that everybody overlooks. And quite frankly, I did for a very long period of time. When I had that miserable month that I tell my story, and you've heard it before, so I will abbreviate and keep it very brief in the interest of time so that you get the most content and value out of this. You know that I had that horrible, miserable month, or maybe you don't, of selling one car in the month. I couldn't beg, plead, or coerce anybody into purchasing an automobile because I was doing it wrong. I was making these classic mistakes. And when I really had a look at, after I stopped blaming everybody else and I looked internally at myself and said, how would I buy these vehicles if it were me? And remember, I was selling at the worst time. I started my career at the coattails of the best-selling years in the automobile business in 1989. And I started in 1990, riding the coattails, and the echo wave of the most amazing sales years, record-setting numbers of sales and volume and profitability, just like we had during the inventory shortage. And then it went in the tank. Well, maybe you'd call it going in the toilet. Went in the toilet before it made it to the septic tank. It was really bad. And what I realized was that the high performer just continues to be the high performer. And it wasn't so much the tricky talk tracks, but it was the process. It was the linking of the talk track, pardon me, excuse me, with the selling tactic that got him to sell more vehicles. What you probably missed in my presentation right there was that when I named the manufacturer's suggested retail selling price of the automobile at $57,997, I did not say thousands and I did not say hundreds. But when I'm giving the customer money, such as the discount at $1,297 off, I'm now giving the customer money, and that includes the thousands and the hundreds. The biggest mistake that I see average ordinary underperforming salespeople make, and if this is you, my heart goes out to you. It really does. I know what it's like to be you. You say $59,997 with a $1,297 discount puts us at $56,700. How would you like to pay for that? Will you be taking advantage of our low interest financing, or will you be going to the bank to get the money? What were you thinking, folks? And while it is methodical and makes sense and the dialogue flows easily, you can hear me rhyme off my tongue quickly and effortlessly, it kind of just slaps the customer in the face. And it suggests, this is a lot of money. Do you really want to spend this much money? And the unfortunate thing with that is that it's so easy to change. It's so easy to drop the thousands and hundreds, so customers don't really hear that. Hear the thousands and hundreds, which is in their best interest, not hear the thousands and hundreds, which is the money coming out of their pocket to close first visit. Now, let's go back to the Dutch auction. This is the Dutch auction and how it works. This is what you came in here to find out about. Customer wants a lower price. They want your best price. Worst thing that you can do is run up to the sales desk and ask the manager for best price. Managers in the room watching this program, and of course, if you're a salesperson, he's like, that's exactly what my manager does to me. If you show this to your manager, it would be well within your best interest. If you want to catch the recording, you'll have it right here in the private members Facebook group of the Auto Sales Academy. And then, of course, on YouTube, it will be broadcast there quite easily. So you can fast forward to this section right here. The worst thing that you can do as a manager is say, just write the offer, bring it up to the desk, and we'll work it at the desk. I went through that. It doesn't work. When the customer offers 30 grand on a $56,700 vehicle, there is way too much distance there. And in fact, tell me this, how many managers crumple that offer up and throw it right in the garbage? How many of you say, you got nothing? Don't bring me up 30. When I say solicit an offer on a 56.7, I'm talking about them offering you 54, 55, 56, and we'll work the offer at the desk. Anybody can do that. That's what I'm talking about right here. You can be anybody getting to that number quickly and easily with the Dutch auction. So what happens is you knock off $300. You say, hey, look, what would you like to pay? Here's another mistake that average ordinary automobile salespeople make. And automobile sales training, average ordinary automobile sales training has done it to you. And they say, ask the customer what they want. How many times does a manager say, never ask the customer how much they want to pay because they'll tell you. And that's nothing, no money down forever. Second thing is never ask them how much they want for their trade-in. And you go up to the desk with a customer's trade and they say, what do they want for the trade? They just told you hours, days, weeks, months, years ago. Don't ever ask a customer what they want for their trade. And they blow it. They contradict themselves. It isn't entirely wrong. Until I became a used car manager, then new car manager, general manager, and owned the dealership, did I realize how that worked. You've got to say to yourself, okay, why would I not want to ask the customer what they want for their car? How does that not help me when they know what they want for the car? Well, a couple of things. Number one, the most obvious one, they're looking at Facebook Marketplace and Auto Trader and Car Gurus and Car Pages and all of those classified websites, including, I guess, Kijiji and Craigslist, to just make sure that they're trading their car at a fair value. And we're a little bit off track here, but I'm hoping this is helping you. The second part of the equation is that advertised price is just advertised. We don't even get advertised price when we advertise. It takes us 90 days to sell a nice used car, and we don't get what we're asking for it either. So the number the customer is seeing is not the real actual cash value. So the next part of the equation is the actual cash value, especially on trade-in, where we have to recondition it and take a chance on it, put it on the front line, and then pay you to sell it. Well, we've got to take it in at such a price that we can turn around and do all those things to it. So that's the reason why we never ask the customer for that number. But at some point you can, and I'll show you. So in the Dutch auction, we say to them, look, this is the selling price, $56,700. What do you want to pay? If I could knock off $300 and we could be $56,400, I'll go out to the service department right now and see if we can have the vehicle ready for you in an hour. And then in the meantime, I can introduce you to the banker and you can take advantage of our great financing offer. Wouldn't that be great? That's how easy it is to sell the vehicle, right? And you didn't go up to the desk and you didn't ask for a best price and you're not trying to work the deal at the desk and you didn't ask the customer. You asked the customer. Did you catch that? You asked the customer what they want to pay and then you told them, this is the purpose of the Dutch auction. This is how you win every negotiation on your terms every time. It's almost a rhetorical question. The customer said, now be tough on me. Don't make this easy. They say, no. I'm not. That's ridiculous. On a 56K vehicle, you're knocking off $300. Come on, I can get that much. I can get more than that off an ATV or a UTV at Polaris and Can-Am and Arctic Cat and Suzuki and Honda. You say, all right. Well, say I could knock off another $150 would put us at $56,250. With your permission, indicated by a deposit and a signature, I'll go out to the service department and make sure that they can fit it in. You can be driving it home this afternoon, and then I'll go and make sure that the business manager is ready to go to be able to take your credit application. So how would you like to put your deposit down? Credit card or cash? And they go, are you kidding me? There's no way. I'm not $150. That's all you got. I say, well, all right, I get it. They say, you're going to have to do a whole lot better than that. Now all of a sudden they're negotiating with me. They're not looking to negotiate with the manager, right? That's great. So at $150 off, we go, okay, well, What if I could knock off another $50, would put us at an even 56.2. You know, the important thing at this point in time is, when do you want to be driving it? Do you want to be driving it today, tomorrow, or by the weekend? And I know you're sitting there thinking, well, Bill, like, first of all, we don't do spot deliveries. My manager would never go for that. The service department would never go for that. We're not set up for that. You don't understand, Bill. We're a small dealer in a rural marketplace, and our people don't need to get it that quickly. Okay. I had my first new car franchise was outside of a metropolitan area. You could say it was rural. You could say it was urban and suburban, because it was not within the city limits, but I certainly sold into the metropolitan center quite easily and quickly. But I did so because everybody is excited to shop and look for that brand new car, and they're excited to come in and find out when they can get it at the price that they want it for. This is the reason why they've stayed with you for the last 20 minutes, 90 minutes, 3 hours, because you're presenting an irresistible offer based on your attractive character. They're liking that, and they're saying, okay, what's your bottom line? What's the best price that you can give me? And rather than running up to the desk and giving them an underwhelming price of 56.2, we've worked our way down, that if they were thinking that the gross profit was way more than this, if they were thinking somewhere along the lines of, I can get 25, 30, 40% off the asking price of the vehicle, because they're reading the news, they're watching the news on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, cable TV, they're listening to the radio. You know, the economy is fragile, the tariffs are real, the electric vehicle incentives are ending in Canada, the car business is flat or going to be stagnant this year. If anything, it may be down 4%. The customers think to themselves, this is a great time for me to go in and help the retailers out of some of their problem of all that inventory sitting on the ground, accumulating interest and costing them money. I'll go in and see if I can get a wonderful, super duper, alley-ooper, amazing deal. When the reality is, not that we're doing well or we're doing poorly, we want to sell at any time, and we want to make sure our customers are really happy. The point is, we can't sell and not be profitable and stay in business. We don't need to make, for many of you, especially in rural communities, you don't need to make gobs of money, but the happiest customer also pays the most. So it doesn't hurt to get on the right vehicle, so there's a really decent gross in it for you to be able to create a happy customer who will give you repeat and referral business. But that aside, let's talk about the Dutch auction and negotiate to yes every single time. If the customer is thinking 25, 30, 40% off, and you've done a drop of $300, $450, $500 max off the price of a $57,997 vehicle, what are they thinking now? Well, let me answer that question for you, because we're not going back on dialogue here. They're thinking there isn't that kind of gross and margin in it. There isn't that much profit to be made. And they bump themselves and they pay more, because maybe they were thinking on this 56.7 vehicle, they're thinking, I'll start the dealer off at 35 or 40 because I can always come up, but I can't go back down. Now you've just shown, you said, what do you want to pay? And you answer your own question. This is what I mean by negotiating every deal, every time on your terms. You are in control of the sales process. The customer is in control of the sales decision. They will only make the decision when they have choices. When they have choices, they feel like they're in control. And that's my customer-focused approach to negotiate and close. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this today. There's a whole lot more to it. And if you really do like it, I want to encourage you to join the Auto Sales Academy Facebook group for those of you that are watching this on LinkedIn and on YouTube and on Instagram. And for those of you that would like to see all of our videos and learn so much more about it, go to the Auto Dealership Academy YouTube channel and do yourself a favor. Like the videos, right? So that you can go back to it. When you like it, it goes in your feed. It tells YouTube what you like watching. And so if you like a lot of our videos of the Auto Dealership Academy, they'll start showing you some of the other ones on the other 8, 9 steps of our 3-system, 1 system, our system of 3 phases and 9 steps. I was trying to work myself backwards, but our system of 3 phases and 9 steps, the manifesto of biology, they'll show you the other videos. And then best of all, if you subscribe, well, then it's super easy. If you've got 5-10 minutes in the day and you really want to tune yourself up really quickly, maybe you're driving in and you've got a gigantic cell phone plan, or like me, an unlimited cell phone plan. You're like, let me capitalize on this time. Rather than listening to some brain dead DJ talking about what they were happening. I mean, it happened to me yesterday. I'm driving in traffic and the lady's talking about the flood in her front yard because of all the rain that we're getting. And it's almost like she thinks she's the only one that's got a lot of water in her front yard and talking about it on the radio. I don't mean to beat them up, but when I'm driving to work, I really would like to know what the road report is. I'd like to know where the accidents are. I'd like to know if I'm driving into rain, snow, fog, and it's going to slow me down. I'd like to know what the news is. I'd like to hear what's going on around the world. And I'd like to listen to my favorite musician. The DJ is not exactly my favorite one in the world. Anyhow, I'm off track. My apologies. If you really want to know how you can sell 10, 20, or 30 vehicles per month with predictable consistency this year, get on track to earn a 6-figure income, then give me a call. I'll put a link in the description below for you to be able to book a 15-minute call. That's all it is. 15 minutes, tell you exactly what the system is all about. It only costs $3,000. It's stupid inexpensive. In fact, it should be. I did a ChatGPT inquiry on that because I do a lot of work with AI. We have an AI system now to evaluate your sales presentation based on our system, tell you exactly what you did well and where the opportunity is for you to be able to turn those situations around. We have one-on-one training as well. There was a class this morning at 10 o'clock for an hour on this topic. So there's a whole lot more covered based on several other worksheets. I'll share all of those details with you. In 15 minutes, you could decide whether this is for you or not. You get our payment plan. If you don't want to pay for it all at once, it's tax deductible. Here's the best part. You will pay for it. And I cannot guarantee it because that would be illegal for me to do. It's actually against the law for me to be able to say, I guarantee that you will pay it back in a period of time. But I can assure you, based on the history and the success of so many others doing it as well, and I'll give you their name and I'll use them as a reference. You can call and talk to them. You will pay for this in less than 30 days. You will retire this investment that you will then get lifetime access to the online on-demand learning platform, the weekly classes, the one-on-one coaching, and of course, the AI that you can participate in as well. The AI is really exciting, super different, nothing in the marketplace like this. And the most important part is it bridges the gap. Forget about it being the very first one. The best part is you take the teachings that I'm sharing with you here that I've cultivated over 30 years experience being a new car franchise owner and now an independent franchise owner and a teacher. My teaching skills come from a teaching certificate at the Automotive Business School. And that is a degree as well as a diploma granting program that I work for another institution. That is not mine. I don't own that. I own this company that you're all reading and following right here. You'll get all of that bundled together in one nice, tight, tidy package for lifetime access. Lifetime. It's an introductory offer. I will, at a certain threshold of sales that I want to achieve, withdraw the lifetime access. And then the suggestion from our business coach and our own internal team is that, Bill, we can't offer all this stuff. We can't offer the AI. We can't offer the one-on-one coaching. It's just too many people. Right now, we can handle it with no trouble at all. But eventually that'll start to tick off at the 3K at $29.97. You get it all right now. And then eventually we'll have to back it off because we just have to. There's no false scarcity or urgency here. We do have a date set on it. It's pointless for me to share that details with you. But if you book a call and you ask me, I will tell you. If you want to know the answer to your question, like I always tell my kids and my spouse, don't ask me a question that you don't want to know the answer to, because I will give it to you. Again, my name is Bill Harvey. Thank you so much for joining me. The Auto Dealership Academy on YouTube, as well as live stream here on LinkedIn and YouTube, and the Facebook private members group of the Auto Sales Academy. For those of you that don't belong to that, join that community of 512 members that are strictly and solely automobile salespeople. Only automobile salespeople can be in there, including managers, general sales managers, and owners. But no corporate people are in there, and nobody that is not within the car business. And if you see an ad that is anything other than tactics of selling automobiles, which does not include financial services and advertisements from another salesperson of a car that they've got for sale, that's not helpful. Don't be surprised, or notify me, bring it to my attention. Hey, Bill, here's something that's a little unusual. It's not what I was expecting to see. We'll review it and decide whether it gets kept or gets deleted. So if you were the person that posted anything like that, my apologies to you. We just want to keep the content really, really special for the clients that are here. And it's all about prospecting, presentations, closing, and negotiating. The system of 3 phases and 9 steps called biology will get you there. Have a wonderful day. Super weekend. See you next Thursday at 11:30. Bye-bye for now.